So I go into having this conversation with Spotify right over here, and
I know that I'm a foreign star. If you might type, I'll make you mine. If they ain't showing no love, I don't let it get to my mind. And I be getting to it with my craft divine, I claim what's mine. I can't play all of those games, had to protect my time. I know that I'm a foreign star.
it's a very interesting conversation because I'm looking through my music and I'm looking through my music analytics, and all of a sudden, boom, 6K streams gone. You know what I mean? And it's like, where did that go? And things like that completely disappeared. What's interesting is that this is all being promoted through organic streams, right? So I'm going through my stuff during the day. All I see is I come across my music, 6K streams getting taken away off of a song without no flag, no information, nothing being told to me. I was not contacted by my distributor or Spotify. You know what I mean? I then reach out to Spotify, and I want to show you guys this little conversation that I had with their team, just in their chat, I guess, that they have online or whatever the case may be. So you'll see it up on the screen here, and I'll be going through the chat. I'm not going to share every single detail here, but I'll share a lot because it's a quite long chat. But this is just a message to all the independents out there, and I just want to ask, what's going on with Spotify? And let's just dive into it because they're going to see how they responded and how they're responding, how they're dealing with their clients right now and their customers. So my question is to artists out there: have you been dealing with this? What have you been what have you been dealing with when it comes to your distribution? Have you been dealing with anything in terms of distribution, and how has Spotify been treating you directly as the artist? And what are you considering in terms of your next moves? But as a label and an independent artist, this is a very interesting thing for me to see. And I do think that Spotify is going to be making a very important move and a very strong pivot moving forward. So I'm sending out an early message to all independents out there. Be mindful of using this platform and putting your music on here. Make sure that you do own majority of your music and your independent and your masters and things like that. But I would just steer the other way in terms of streaming platforms. I think a lot of streaming platforms will be making a pivot soon within the next coming years. The next few up and coming years, we're going to see what that pivot is. But you be ready and prepare for yourself. Start thinking about some independent ways to get your music out there, good direct to consumer, things like that, and how you can maneuver. So let's get into this little conversation here and see what the hell these guys were talking about here on screen here. So as you can see, I reached out. Hey, how's it going? Da, 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 da. This is a little bit of the conversation from before, so you can see that. I guess it won't load messages from before, but I had reached out. I guess it disconnected me, reconnected. Well, it was the AI, so I had to connect to a human. So I had 12K streams, and all of a sudden I'm seeing 6K. I got no alert. The stream just disappeared. It says they didn't give me any response, gathering information, and then it goes into saying there's a few reasons why this could happen. There's a few reasons why your stream or listener counts may decrease or display, right? First, we recommend checking your audience tab in Spotify, the gray banner that explains the difference, right? So it sends me a link, tells you to go check go check your tab within the artist dashboard, and you'll see some sort of banner. This banner I've never seen on my account. So I logged into the account and said, do I see this gray banner? And the initial banner I thought they were talking about, I thought it was a different banner. I'm not going to show you guys exactly what banner that they had in my dashboard, but I thought it was a different banner. So I said, yes, I see this. The banner that they were initially talking about, I actually never ended up seeing. I had to go to the specific song, go into into that song analytic, and then find it that way. And then it showed us some sort of banner talking about your song's been flagged. So my question was as well to that: why do they make it so hard for you to see that? Why do they make it so hard for you to understand? Oh, this was flagged. If this is something that's flagged, why didn't I get notified? Why didn't I get emailed? Why didn't my distributor know? As the banner says, if we detect artificial streams, that banner wasn't there, right? And I've gotten contacted by them before for certain first set artists on my label that had artificial streams and things like that, and they contacted me via email. So the whole my thing was why they didn't do it this time. So it'll be connected to an advisor. Can I speak to an advisor? I said the banner does not indicate anything regarding artificial streams. Hi there, happy to help you. Give me a moment. I go into more details. They continue to ask me which artist this is for. Obviously, it's for me, myself, C333. If you guys don't know, I am an artist. Thanks for sharing. It says, give me time. We detected artificial streams. We removed those streams from your all-time release count, right? If you have any questions about these streams, and mind you, I haven't promoted this song within the last 6 months, and what it was telling me, and even then, what it flagged for right now is irrelevant because it's been promoted organic. The last, how long? I can show you the consistent charts, guys, like everyday streams, whatever the case may be. So it's extremely interesting why they flagged that. and they didn't let me know. So it asked me, artificial streams removed. If you have any questions about these, please contact your label or distributor. We'll be happy to help. Right, to protect the integrity of our artificial streaming server, we're unable to share further information. Right, so to protect their integrity of our artificial streaming detection system, they're unable to share information of, because I said we don't bot streams. What is it you're finding as artificial? Is there any way of identifying this? And of course, they can't identify it. We recommend reviewing any promotional and marketing efforts. I never promoted it. Keep in mind, this hasn't been promoted. As a heads up, you should only work with trusted services. Blah. If you're confident that all your streams were earned honestly, it can help. It can help share the details with your distributor or label about how you genuinely promoted your music. They can then pass the information on to Spotify's contact, right? So it's telling me to contact my distributor, and then from there, I will have more information, right? And which is ridiculous because that's a whole extra step. And what? So it's like they have some sort of deals, which we all know they have a deal with the distributors, and if not the distributors, with the labels, right? So my thing was, why would they make it such a long process in terms of, and then not be clear with the system of what's being flagged? It's so interesting. So I'm going to be contacting my distributor. I'll likely be providing details of how it wasn't artificial towards my distributor so they can either contact Spotify, or moving forward, I just won't be releasing music on Spotify. And it says, I understand your concern, but don't worry. I've checked it backstage and can see since your music is properly licensed by your distributor, you need to show, you just need to show and try to explain the same thing, that these plays are the result of organic and legitimate promotion. You can present info on these methods or services used by your distributor. Once they agree with your point, they'll have a chance to forward this to our content team. So they're saying contact my distributor. Then I went into asking more questions. I shouldn't have to contact my distributor. You guys are a multi-million-dollar company. Isn't that what you have departments for? When you're all the ones taking it down, why would I need to contact my distro? It doesn't make sense, right? You would think that the company would have their own result to why they would take it down if it's on their platform and not anywhere else, right? So it's very interesting. And they go to ask me just to confirm, have you used any third-party promotional tool? I said, to promote your music? No. And thanks for letting me know about this. As you haven't used promotional tools, you can reach out to your distributor and give this information to them. If your streams are genius, you'll have a chance to re-upload and you'll not lose your streams. Or genuine, sorry, this person said genuine. And I said, I don't know what they mean by re-upload my music would be crazy, but so it says, I apologize for the confusion. Person can't spell either. If the streams are organic, then you can contact your distributor, then share all the information on this and ask them to contact our content team on behalf of who you'll be able to check this for you farther, right? So it says, we encourage you to check out Spotify's policy, Whenever detected, there's a banner indicated. And I said, there's simply no banner on the account. And then they tell me this long step, going to music and then clicking within releases and then 12-month statistics, and then you'll see a banner, right? And then they go to ask me, are you a label and the artist, right? So, and then if they do flag artificial streams, why isn't it on the home page of the Spotify for artists right up here? Let's say, for example, boom, artificial streams detected. Why are they making it so hard and so fishy to find and figure out artificial streams? It doesn't even make any sense. And then they go to ask me, are you both the label and the artist? I continue to say yes. Understood. Can you please share with me two releases which we're referring to that I could investigate on this? So I continue to send release information. Spotify has no knowledge of the agreements that artists sign with their distributors, so we can't investigate individual cases. The distributor should be able to reach our royalties department. Then why would you ask me for the information? It makes no sense. They ask for the information, they see what they see in the back end, and then they're like, yep, can't tell him this, so let's just say this. Contact your distributor. What? It doesn't even make any sense. They didn't answer, and I go to continue to answer. This didn't answer any question at all. You know what I mean? And then they say, no need to rush. Rest assured that we won't leave you hanging. If you think you got disconnected from me, another agent will show. Bro, what? Absolutely ridiculous. And then I continue connecting me to a new agent chat, right? And I continue going. They go, hi there. This is from Spotify support team. Thanks. I understand you have some questions regarding royalties. No worries. I'll do my best. Right. They continue to go, please wait a few minutes. I'll check on my end. Thanks for your patience. I understand it's not ideal, but I'm afraid this isn't something we can help with. What the fuck? What? I'll need to close this conversation now, but you'll be able to find this else. You'll be able to find us if you ever need anything else. And then they ended the conversation. Chad, if this is not fishy, if this isn't fishy business, I don't know what is. This is absolutely ridiculous. What have you guys heard? How has your experience been? What have you been dealing with? Let me know in the comments down below. This has been absolutely ridiculous, guys. I'm gonna leave that there. Spotify, major L. I don't think I'm gonna be using Spotify moving forward for a lot of projects and things like that, major things in mind. A lot of it I won't be using. And I said that for my last album, my audience. I told y'all we're not gonna be dropping on Spotify for this reason. So I'm gonna be steering away a lot from the DSPs, possibly, and like we said, direct to consumer, guys. Supporting your own, supporting independent artists, direct to consumer. Buy the album, go to Even, buy our album, Elevation out now. That's all I can say. You know what I mean? Curating an ecosystem and seeing where this is going is very interesting. The music industry is in a very weird spot right now. As we know, a lot of the charts are filled with old music. A lot of labels are not dishing out the same amount of money to new artists. It's very interesting. Is streams dying? Are DSPs going away? What's going to happen with streaming? What's going to happen with the music industry? What's going to happen with the majors?
Baby tryna get down, said she fly, but I'm not that guy. And we ride to plane 6th dimension, that's why we caught another flight. We put all this sauce in the game, I know it's hard for them to not fight it. And I told baby, you gotta feel it through in order to get through, don't fight it. If you was aware, where to find your purpose, let go in diamonds. Talking crazy around me, mad at me.